Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony coming to you today from downtown Montgomery, Alabama, and I'm standing outside of one of my favorite songwriter and singers of all time, the late Hank Williams Sr. And we're going to go inside and look around and visit his grave and find out a lot about Hank Williams. But right after this station identification. I've traveled many miles today and wound around all types of country roads and found myself in the little small town of Georgiana, Alabama. This was Hank Williams' boyhood home, sitting on the front porch. Probably where he would have sat on the front porch during his time here and played on his guitar with T-Tot, black gentleman in town that taught him to play. Now this was Hank Williams' boyhood home in the early 1930s, and this house looks pretty much like it did then. The floors are original. He actually lived here between the ages of 7 and 11 years old. And this is one of Hank's original hats. And Hank Williams with a pretty much well looked just like that when he lived here. Of course, that was at age 13. Here is a life-size cutout of Hank. That stance that he had, a lot say that he suffered from scoliosis his whole life, caused him a lot of pain, and that's one of the reasons a lot of times you would see him performing and standing like that.
I guess that's one reason they stayed so skinny a lot.
All kind of pictures of Hank Williams. Here in one of the bedrooms, there's a quilt. It's called The Story of Hiram Hank Williams. And there are a lot of, it's been embroidered with different things on it about Fred Rose, that was someone who published a lot of his songs. It says Hiram changed his name to Hank because he admired a Western swing band leader, and Hank liked baseball. These curtains are handmade with the words to your cheating heart. Your cheating heart will tell on you. This Gibson guitar was donated to this museum by Betty and Earl DuBose. The guitar belonged to Neil Pappy McCormick, and it was played by Hank when he was a teenager visiting Pappy in Defuncac Springs, Florida. Elvis Presley also played this guitar when he visited Neil as well, whom he met at an earlier show. This is a painting that's located in a place called Leapers Fork, Tennessee, and is owned by Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. Hank Williams Sr. bought 500 acres in 1951 that included this house. At that time, it was like in a bad state of despair. After Hank and Audrey divorced in 1952, the property was sold at a loss. Here is a blown up version of his birth certificate. Name of child is Hiram Williams, who later on to be known as Hank Williams Sr. In the Williams bathroom, just imagine Hank Williams when he was 7, 8, 9 years old, taking a bath in that tub, and of course sitting on that toilet. This fork is from the Andrew Johnson Hotel in Tennessee, where Hank spent his last night of his life. I'm standing outside of the Guyana Theater. Between 1931 and 1934, young Hiram Williams would come to this theater and watch the old westerns. It's where he got his love for horses and cowboys and western clothing. In 1936, Hiram and his family moved to Montgomery. That's when he began calling himself Hank, after some of his favorite cowboys. Legend has it that Rufus Payne, best known as T-Top, first met Hank Williams when he was 8 years old. And they say that he would play Hank's guitar, showing Hank how to bend those guitar strings. Some interesting facts about Hank Williams. He was born on September the 17th, 1923 in Butler County. The first song he learned was from his grandmother, On Top of Old Smoky. He won a talent show at Empire Theater. His grand prize was $15. He had his own radio show on WSFA in Montgomery from 1937 to 1947. He married Audrey on December the 15th, 1944 in Andalusia, Alabama. His first record, Callin' You, December 1946. Hank also recorded 225 songs in just over 5 years. He wrote 128 of these recordings. 11 of these recordings became #1 hits. His first hit was on MGM, Move It On Over, in 1947. He joined a Louisiana hayride in Shreveport, Louisiana in 1948. And from 1949 to 1952, he was a star of the Grand Ole Opry. On New Year's Day of 1953, Hank Williams, on his way to a concert in Canton, Ohio, passed away from a heart attack sitting in the back seat of his Cadillac. We are at the gravesite of Hank Williams Sr. and his wife Audrey. On September the 4th, 1953, Hank Williams Sr. passed away, and his funeral was held in the city auditorium. Over 20,000 people attended that funeral. They say it's the largest event that's ever been held in Montgomery since Jefferson Davis's inauguration. This is Audrey Williams. She lived a good bit longer than he did. She passed away in 1975. She was a singer as well as Hank Sr., and he had said on a few occasions that he never thought she was that much of a singer. And here is Hank Williams' grave here, 1923 to 1953. He was 29 years old when he passed on. It's got a great view though. Hank Williams, in his short 29 years, wrote 167 songs. Right next to Hank Williams grave is his mother's grave. Was known as Lily Bell Smith, but her official name was Lillian Skipper Williams. She passed away in 1955, and Hank's sister, Irene Williams Smith, and her husband JT, right next to them. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on our trip here to Montgomery to visit the grave of Hank Williams Sr. and his wife Audrey. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to go down below, give them a big old thumbs up. Be sure to tell your family and friends and share on your social media. But until next time, y'all have a good day.